Hey out there, Slot Car Land. How's everybody doing this fine Sunday? I thought we'd sit down today and talk about give you some pointers to the newer people out there in the hobby and to other people that might just be coming back into the hobby after more than likely 20 or 30 years away from the hobby. And about give you guys pointers, some places you can go to learn certain things, to find certain things, and to be able to give you enough info so when you're out there purchasing stuff, you don't end up buying something like this. This is kind of what prompted this video, was this right here. Somebody shared this on one of the groups saying that they bought this, and when they got it, it wasn't what they thought it was. And for us veterans, we know what that is. That's an AFX car with a T-Jet body shoved up under it with dune buggy rear wheels on it, and and that kind of prompted me to think, and it's like, okay, what do we need to do to help these people out? Because this hobby right now, especially if you're collecting, is way too expensive to just be out there buying willy-nilly without knowing what you're getting. So there's a lot of resources out there that you can go to be able to study up on stuff, to be able to find out certain things and whatnot. Of course, there's videos here on the YouTube channel, here on Slot Car Crazy, where I show you guys how to identify chassis, show you guys how to find the brand name on the chassis to be able to identify what brand name it's from, and then you can go from there and go find out what chassis you actually have. Another great place to go would be Slot Car Crazy on Facebook. I've got a great list of, if you go into the photo albums, I've got photo albums for all kinds of different vendors and different chassis and whatnot. You can find out what you have via that. You can also go to slotcarcrazy.com. We got a lot of great catalogs listed there for Tyco, Aurora. I think there's a couple other ones too listed there that you can go to and find your chassis or whatnot, and be able to look through them and find out all kinds of information on there. There's also another place that is another really good resource that you can go to that has a glossary of terms. It also has a wide variety of photos there to find what you're looking for. Let me look it up here. It's right here. It's the modelmotorists.com. They have a great resource area. They have a glossary. Where'd it go? Encyclopedia. That has a great selection of all kinds of stuff. That's modelmotorist.com. They have a great website. I've thumbed through it several times myself to help identify. They've got terms. They've got pictures of track to identify track, chassis, cars, all kinds of cool stuff. Go check it out. It's a great website. We have it listed at slotcarcrazy.com. If you want to go there and find it, or just type in modelmotorist.com and you can go there and just peruse that site. It's a great site. I've done there several times. There's also a lot of great other sites out there that you can go to that can help you find out what you're looking at before you jump into a purchase or whatnot. Some of my advice to you when you're looking at cars, if it's too good to be true, probably is. Key number one. Number two, if there's only one photo of the car, or they're only showing you top, side, and side shots, but they're not showing you an underside shot so you can see what kind of chassis it is, the best way to help identify cars is to study wheels. Study what wheels came on what chassis, because that will help you really in the long run to be able to identify what you're looking at, say on eBay or Etsy or anywhere, any other Facebook group that's selling cars or stuff, because you can really identify the chassis from the wheels. Tycos are pretty self-explanatory. You can pretty much tell what a Tyco Pro looks like by looking at its wheels. You can tell the HP2s and HP7s are a little harder because the wheels are almost identical on those two chassis. But if you see the wheels, if you study those wheels, then you know it's either an HP2 or an HP7. The 440s and 44X2s and their variants all have the same wheels, so you're pretty much safe there. And any body throughout outside of the Tyco S, any chassis after that, from Pro all the way up to 44X2s, a lot of those bodies are interchangeable between chassis, so the body can be from almost any era. Auto World, or not Auto World, but Aurora, same way. T-Jets, you've got about 4 different wheel styles for T-Jets. You've got the stock NOS wheels, you've got dune buggies, you've got truck, you've got the Formula 1 car came with its own wheel, and then the narrow chassis had the same wheels as the standard. So, actually, no, there's not, because I added the Formula 1 body, so they did have different wheels. So there's about I'd say 4 different sets of wheels on a T-Jet. You're not going to be able to tell Magna Traction and non-Mag apart. The wheels pretty much are universal to those two cars. So if you look at it and you study the wheels and you see, oh, okay, you either got a non-Mag or a Magna Traction, which, pretty good shot. If it's a G Plus, pretty self-explanatory. You guys know what G Plus front wheels will. Study those really hard, or the Super Magna Traction, or its 3 variants, or 4 variants. The Cat Eye, the Speed Shift, the Blazing Brakes, and maybe that was it. Maybe it was only 3. So, and then of course you've got the Lifelike line of family as well, and study those. By studying those wheels from Rollcore or Amrec all the way up through Lifelike, you can tell what chassis it is. So that's one key. Make sure you study the wheels, because if they don't give you an underside of the shot of the car, at least you've got a better idea of what you're bidding on. So once again, study the tires. If that's all, if you're just in this hobby for collecting and buying chassis and having certain ones, study the wheels. That way you've got a good shot. If you're looking at a item on eBay, you've got a better idea of what that chassis is and what it might be. So no matter what you're buying, whether you're buying Auto World, Lifelike, Tyco, Aurora, study the wheels. You'll be able to find out what cars are what. There's also a lot of great auctions on eBay or on Facebook right now with great people that are trustworthy. That, I mean, granted, the prices aren't going to be any better than eBay, but at least these people know what they're doing. They're very respectable and very good people. The T-Jet Club, their auctions are on Monday nights on Facebook. Go check them out. Great group of guys out of South Dakota. They're great racers as well. So go check out them. They have their auction starts at 5 o'clock. I think it's Pacific time. That's my time. So 5 o'clock Pacific on Monday nights. Slot that is the T-Jet Club. Also, Slot and Stuff. Andrew at Slot and Stuff, one of our sponsors for our racing this year. His auctions, I believe, are Wednesday nights, and I think they also start right about 5 on Facebook. And then there's about 4 or 5 other guys. None of them overlap one another, so each guy has picked his own day to be able to do auctions. So if you just go into Facebook, go to the search bar for groups and just search slot car auctions, and they'll be able to take you to all the groups and everything. And a lot of those guys are pretty reputable. You can pretty much trust them that they're selling you what they're saying they're selling you. Especially Andrew and the slot and the T-Jet Club guys. They won't jip you at all. Some other things, if you look around and find local stuff, hit your local, of course, your local antique stores and all that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing is just don't jump into this blindly. Study. If you pick up a couple of the collector books out there, there's a couple really good Tyco ones. There's a couple of really good Aurora ones, and just read through them. They'll tell you great information. They'll give you a little bit of history in there too, but it's great information to be able to show you what you got, what you're looking for, what might cost more than other cars, which right now isn't much because everything for slot cars is expensive. But it'll help you out with knowing what you're looking for and what you might pay for something, whether it's rare or whether it's a common car or whatnot. So but that's the biggest thing. Study. I've seen so many posts on Facebook these days of people that say, "Well, it's not what I expected." Well, once again, this is like a job. You don't go into a job blind. You apply for a job that you know how to do. So if you're in the hobby, you should know at least a little bit about the hobby, a little bit about what you're buying, a little bit about how to protect yourself from being gypped and not buying something that you believe was one thing and you actually get it and it's another. So, like that post right there, that was a TJ chassis with 2 TJ tires shoved up between the chassis and the body to keep the body on it. And, you know, it wasn't what he thought it was, but hey, you got a TJ chassis out of it. That's $60 right there alone. And the body, the Super Daytona body, if the wing's intact, you could probably get $30 for that on eBay. So there you go. You got to look at the bright side. If you get back in the day when I first got back into slot cars in the late 90s, early 2000s, you could blindly go on eBay and buy something without even knowing what it was, and you get it, and it might have been a bonus, and you only paid like 15 or 20 bucks for it. Now you can't really do that. With as expensive as this hobby has gotten, and as competitive as it's gotten since COVID, with everybody getting back into it, and the prices going up and everything, you need to do some studying to figure out what. You don't have to know everything. You know, none of us know everything about this hobby, but there's a lot of people out there that know enough to help you out, and then help yourself out. Study. Look, and then, like I said, the easiest thing to be able to identify a chassis is to start studying the wheels that come on each chassis throughout generations, and that'll give you a closer idea to what you're buying. Also, preferably, I don't buy something that I don't see the bottom of the chassis of it, because if they don't show the chassis, you don't know what kind of condition that chassis is in, because seeing the bottom of the chassis can give you a great idea as to how much work that chassis is going to be to get it back running again. If you don't care about that, then, you know, that's one thing. But if you're buying it for a racer, you're going to want a chassis that's halfway decent. So make sure, I don't buy anything unless I see a top, both sides, and the bottom of the chassis. You never know what that body is. If they're only showing one side of the body, they don't show the other side, it could be because the other side looks like crap. So, you know, there you go. Also, be very, very aware of blue plastic bodied Aurora cars. If you're new to the hobby, that is the most brittle color of plastic. Not painted blue, but casted in blue. So if the car is casted in blue plastic, the cars will be very, very brittle. Some cars more than others. The lighter blues in the Aurora side seem to be better. The worst car out of all of them, of course, is the 6-wheel Tyrrell car, the Elf car. It's probably the worst. It's the most brittle of any car out there. That's why, 1, they're so expensive, and 2, nobody races them on a racetrack because they'll fall apart just going around the racetrack without even hitting anything. Some of the other cars, I know the blue Daytona, the blue Charger, the petty cars, they're kind of notorious for being brittle. The blue Datsun truck, the 510, or not 510, 210, doesn't seem to be as bad. The Capris aren't as bad. Another one is the blue Ferrari. I can't remember the number of that car. I have a yellow one, but the blue one of that one is also pretty brittle. So it's kind of bad. So if you're buying them, make sure you look at the seller's rating and make sure that he ships them well enough to where they're going to come and you're going to get it in one piece. Because I have seen some blue cars show up on people posted on eBay that they're just completely shattered inside the package. So make sure you're being aware of that as well. Especially also if you're collecting them, make sure you're not putting them in an area where you're going to get a lot of sunlight hitting your display of slot cars, because that will also degrade the plastic as well, and that is, it'll fade them. 2, it'll turn the white cars yellow. It'll also make the blue Aurora cars even more brittle. So be aware of that as well. Another little pointer there. But that's my advice for you guys that are either coming back into the hobby, or you just discovered this and you're new to it and you're just gung ho about it. do some studying. Hit websites. Go to slotcarcrazy.com. Hit the modelmotorist.com website. Hit a couple other. There's a couple other really good websites out there as well. Scott's, I think it's still up and running. Scott's AFX is another good one. And it's also listed at slotcarcrazy.com. Just go to slotcarcrazy.com, go to the other links, and just peruse all those sites that are there, because all those sites will help you out. And then go into the catalog section and the book section at slotcarcrazy.com and just start looking at all the catalogs there too, and they'll help you out as well. So that's just some advice from me for you guys out there that are either new to the hobby or that are just coming back into it, and especially if you're just in it to collect. You're not in it to race or anything. You just had them as a kid. You want to collect a few here and there. That's just some of my advice for you guys. So remember, though, bottom line, have fun, because that's what this is all about. And make some friends while you're at it. That's another thing about the live auctions on Facebook. There are a lot of great guys there, a lot of great people, a lot of joshing going on, a lot of ribbon going on. You might be able to make some friends there as well. And then you never know, you might be able to get to meet them one day and exchange some cars or whatnot. Have fun. So that's just some of my advice for me. Kind of a short video this week, but just wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit. Don't forget, later today, we will be live streaming. I believe it is the Auto World Thunderjet Ultra G class, the slot and stuff Auto World Ultra G race today. Featured race, I believe, will be the DK4 cars. That'll be up next weekend, along with the highlights from race 7 of the Central Washington Championship Series, brought to you by DG Designs from Stan Cleaver's Middle Creek Raceway. So be on the lookout for that race next weekend, the live stream about noonish today. So be on the lookout for that. Don't forget to check out the Monday walk around, the Wreck of the Week on Tuesdays, the Saturday Speed Shot. Go back and take a look at all the old shorts as well. Start perusing some of the older videos and everything. Go into the homepage and take a look at a couple of the other YouTube channels I got listed there. A lot of great information there as well. A lot of great people doing a lot of great content here on YouTube for slot cars, so go check them out as well. And have a great week. I'll catch you guys with the race action later today, and with the featured race next weekend, the highlights next weekend, and then of course all the shorts in the middle of the week. And remember to keep that pin in the slot, wheels on the downside. Keep racing slot cars and keep having fun. We'll catch you guys later today. I'm out. Bye.